everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of the In the Box podcast. I'm Joey.
And I'm Dave.
And, man, we have a really great episode for you guys. Let me get out the thing. Cause
We got a lot. Yeah, we got a lot going on today.
I have some notes here, but you recently saw 10.
Yes.
Right?
Saw X.
Or is it 10? Is it X?
I don't know if it's the 10th one. I don't know if it's the 10th one.
There's so many Saw movies, it's hard to keep track.
This one does feel like a refresh, like a kind of like a refresher course, basically, in like the Saw franchise. So maybe the X could be like, I don't know, like
they're trying to be cool.
Yeah, they're just trying to be cool, you know, like what Elon did with, you know, just X.
So it's my understanding that this movie is set in between 1 and 2.
That's right.
Or is it 2 and 3?
It's 1 and 2. So
okay.
In between Saw 1 and 3, we see John Kramer have, you know, limited, but albeit like still like mobile. He was still like a mobile guy. So I'm pretty sure this takes place between 1 and 2. If like I could if I could make like a safe bet on it. That being said, though, this really does feel like a one-off kind of like dime store Saw adventure in a way, you know, like one of those penny novel type things. Like it does feel like a really good self-contained adventure.
It's not really like in the vein of Spiral.
No, totally different.
It's Saw.
It's Saw. It's Saw, but it's Saw in the way that like I guess in a way that you haven't really seen Saw before, because John Kramer, the guy played by Tobin Bell, John Kramer, the character Jigsaw, he's elusive throughout the entire series. You know, like from you only see him in flashbacks, you only see him in cutaways, you only see him when he's revealed at the end. You know, you only see like his involvement in so much. Whereas in this one, you're following him from beginning to end. You're following his interpersonal, you know, like his life outside of these puzzles, outside of torturing people, outside of these mazes and traps and, you know, saving people, as he so puts it. And so you do get a different side, a more human side, if you will, of John Kramer. And it makes him, in a way, kind of, in this movie, not so much villain as much as it is anti-hero. But I feel like it's done in a way where it's like, because you're following John Kramer's personal story, it fits because, I mean, people like John Kramer. People like Jigsaw, you know?
I mean, like Jigsaw.
Yeah, and you know, Jigsaw has enough charisma himself to where he has other collaborators with him as well. And so the plot for this one is basically that John Kramer is still trying to find treatment for his cancer, right? So he's in a cancer treatment group. He meets this other guy named or like a cancer like support group. He meets this guy named Henry who tells him, you know, there's a doctor who's doing this, you know, like experimental surgery. The only thing is that, you know, your insurance isn't going to cover it, and it's not in the United States, so you're going to have to go to Mexico, you know. So he goes to Mexico, forks out maybe $250,000, and he has this surgeon basically, you know, help to remove the tumor. What you eventually find out is it was all a scam. It was all a scam. Like from the get-go. The doctor, I think, that was like doing the surgery was like a veterinarian.
No.
The woman who was like heading the research that was like supposed to be like this magical, you know, cocktail like mixed with the surgery, you know, she claimed that she was like you know, spearheading and pioneering like this new groundbreaking research, and it was all a scam. She's just a grifter, but her dad was like the real deal, right? And so anyway, that being said, Jigsaw makes this discovery, and he goes back to his Jigsaw ways, you know, which is kind of interesting because in the throughout this movie, you actually see Jigsaw, in a sense, wanting to kind of get away from killing and torturing, and I mean, granted, he doesn't call it killing; it's killing, but you know, he wants to get away from that. He wants to, and so there was even a scene where, you know, he's sitting in a park and he's drawing out like another elaborate, you know, trap, and then he's like thinking about it. He's like, "Well, I'm about to get this surgery, you know," and so he's just kind of contemplating it, you know, a new lease on life. Maybe I don't need to do this, you know. Tears out the page. And then so you get like those kinds of moments in this movie. You know, you don't get the gory, first kill, you know, that you get in every single Saw movie. Yeah. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, you don't get that. You just kind of get John Kramer instead going to a doctor's appointment, and then that's how it opens. And so it's a very different Saw movie. It's very personal. I could I guess it's very personal to the character of John Kramer, Jigsaw, and I really liked it personally.
Wow.
Personally, I think it's one of my favorites in the series so far. I've only gotten up to I'm gonna watch Saw 5 probably later on tonight, but
Yeah.
I'm only up until that. Right now, so far, Saw X I say is like one of my favorites right now.
I just watched Saw 5.
Would you,
It's pretty good, yeah. I heard the 6th one's like considered the best, but we'll see.
Nice.
It's really refreshing to see like Saw kind of straying away or getting past the kind of like YouTube clip thing that they have going on, because really, like, at a certain point the Saw movies were just a bunch of compilations of YouTube clips, like YouTube Saw kills. And you're not really there for like the story. You're there for like the really like creative. I was gonna say cool.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say cool, but like creative kills.
Yeah.
That these movies provide. So it's refreshing that they're just like, okay, no, we're gonna tell a story here, and they are gonna have some. I guarantee you, there's some cool kills in there, but they're like, that's not really what this movie's about. And I feel like after this third one, it kind of became a little bit about like the kills.
Yeah. There's a certain point I feel like definitely after the third one, because it just felt like the 1 through 3 just felt like a good trilogy, where it's like you're telling the story of Jigsaw, John Kramer, his work, right?
And I guess now X could go.
And X is now like whereas I say like I think like 1 through 3 was like Jigsaw's work, like that's what the movies were about.
Right.
Saw X is more about John Kramer.
That's awesome.
So it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
Man, we really haven't had, I'm sure there are. I don't want to get into a long discussion of it, but like, there's very few horror icons. Like we don't relate to Freddy, and we don't really like Freddy Krueger. We don't like Jason.
No.
But John Kramer, like, you like him. You want him, like, you understand why he's doing what he's doing. You may not agree with it. You understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases you might be like, you know what, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like, these people deserve it. What's happening to them. So
It's especially when you see some of the people that John Kramer puts in the traps, when you know why they're in the traps. I mean, it just makes it that much sweeter. And of course, the victims in this, the victims in this movie, Saw X, they're scammers. They scam dying people.
That's so shitty.
A more deserving bunch you could not find, So,
that's so shitty, dude. Like, honestly, like, I heard the thing about Saw 10 was like a lot of people wanted to basically do what John Kramer was doing, because like these are like the scum of the earth type people, where they're like scamming sick individuals who basically view this treatment as like a last kind of Hail Mary pass,
basically,
to like save their life, and then to
all
just
in.
to just like take advantage of like what they, and then not it's that aspect, like morally, but then also like financially, you're just draining this person of every last cent that they have, because they're willing to spend that to save their life, their lives. And it's just like, damn, bro, you're real scum of the earth.
Nobody pays higher than dying people, dude. But no, that being said though, Saw X, very good time. If you guys are a fan of Saw, any of the Saw movies, you'll probably like this one a lot.
That's badass, dude.
I heard a story. Sorry, I didn't mean.
No. Go ahead. I wasn't gonna say anything important. I'm looking forward to seeing that movie. I haven't been able to get to the theater to go see it, but I'm hoping to catch it soon. So.
Well, I was just saying that I had heard a story about like when Tobin Bell was on the set of the first Saw movie, how he had looked so scary, just covered in blood. Yeah. Most of the time, he's lying on the floor most of the movie, and how nobody wanted to eat lunch with him. Like, so he would be eating in his dressing room, like, which is kind of sad. That's the equivalent of like the girl eating lunch in like the bathroom,
Yeah.
like that kind of thing.
You know what's funny is like he's actually like a really good dude.
Yeah.
Like Tobin Bell, like I've seen videos of him like interviews and stuff like that, and he just seems like such a cool guy.
You know what I've noticed? Most of the horror movie monsters in Hollywood, like that come out of Hollywood, they're pretty cool dudes. Honestly, like
Kane Hodder. Sid Haig.
Sid Haig was cool. Sid Haig.
You met Sid Haig a bunch, right?
I met him once, and then I also met Robert Englund one time.
Damn.
And yeah, dude.
Dude, the guy, this is a tangent, but the guy that they got to play young Robert Englund in Stranger Things fucking looked exactly like him.
Dude, he did. He did.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, that was.
But yeah, that's weird. It's like all these horror icons. It's very similar to like these like heavy metal musicians. It's like if you've ever met a heavy metal musician, they're like the most down to earth, like nicest people. I mean, besides Marilyn Manson, but like,
Yeah. You know where I think that comes from, honestly? I feel like it's because horror movies are kind of looked down upon kind of all like mostly in the motion picture like kind of world, you know.
Right.
They're panned by most critics. They're never given recognition at award shows. And so therefore like working in horror movies, being a horror movie monster, you're kind of part of like this like underground kind of like, you know, subculture of people who are all just kind of having fun making their own movies, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Rob Zombie, like, you know, anytime he comes out with a movie, you're not hearing a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't get the same clout as it used to get, but it's like there's still that horror movie community of people that still would, you know, line up around the door for it, you know.
And that pisses me off so much about the thought process in regards to the Academy when it comes to action movies and horror movies, because I firmly believe that horror movies and action movies, action movies, really exemplify what movie magic really means.
Absolutely, dude.
You can have a movie like Room, with Brie Larson and Jacob Tremblay, and it's really just set in a room.
Yeah.
And so what holds that movie up is its script.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I could film that fucking movie in this room.
True.
Basically.
Yeah.
With shot for shot and everything.
Yeah.
And does that? Yes, it's engaging because of the script, but as far as like some of the set pieces, like I've seen better set pieces and kind of like contraptions and props and like real movie magic being done in like some of these Saw movies.
Yeah.
Like the shit like with the pendulum in oh no, that's in Saw 5, which you said you
I
seen.
actually I saw a YouTube clip.
Yeah, it's like the pendulum thing, like that's a real thing that they made, and it's like it really does look like you're watching this guy get cut in half, and it's like, and he's not at all, and it's just like it's really cool to like go and see that, because in any horror film you're like in like what's it called, Nightmare on Elm Street, or like Freddy versus Jason, or Friday the 13th.
Any
like,
of the
you really
Nightmare
think
on Elm
that
Street.
it looks like they're getting killed, like legit, but they're not, you know. So it's like,
or even any of the Cronenberg or John Carpenter films,
Cronenberg's
you know,
a good
like
example.
Cronenberg's a great example
with the body horror. It's like, I feel like that, like if someone could do that really successfully, like how they've been doing in the Saw movies or David Cronenberg, for example.
Yeah.
I feel like that holds just as much weight as like a really solid script.
Yeah.
With like that's like dialogue heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like, yeah, the script might be simple and the dialogue might be simple on this end, but like what they're doing, what you're looking at is like a marvel in filmmaking. Like Mad Max Fury Road was a great example of like winning awards, but also being an action movie, and also kind of like, because what you're looking at there is like, it's a marvel. It's like these set pieces are crazy. The costumes crazy. Like it's all this stuff. So I wish there was more of that, you know, because like Top Gun, you know, did it win Best Picture?
No, it was nominated.
I don't think I.
Or I'm pretty sure. I think in the Golden Globes it was nominated for something. But
yeah, because it's like that should have won Best Picture.
Honestly, man, I feel like it's just one of those cases where like the pretentiousness of the theater meets the, you know, magic of movies sometimes, and they can clash a little bit. And
when Endgame came out, I thought that should have won Best Picture.
Yeah,
because like as an audience member sitting in there, in the theater, you know, witnessing like 23 film, you know, accumulation of 23 films is like that literally like was an experience that I will remember and hold for the rest of my life. You know?
To be pulled off with such foresight and such execution in a way that is like
Yeah.
hasn't been done before since then, and really I feel like hasn't been able to be recreated. You know, I don't feel like it.
No, like
It really was one of those once in a lifetime type of things. You know?
I do think I got a little bit of it with the Spider-Man No Way Home with the 3 Spider-Mans.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we'll get a little bit of it with Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
And then maybe whatever they're planning with Secret Wars and stuff. But,
little spurts here and
but
there.
But yeah, no,
you know?
Endgame, you know, having like a full circle thing for like Tony Stark, which is like this character that we kind of grew up with, is like, that was in itself, like, you know.
Yeah.
But anyways, my point is like horror should be looked at like the same way. Like, have you seen there's some movies that I really enjoy because they really push boundaries, like Terrifier or Terrifier 2.
Yes.
Or have you seen the Winnie the Pooh movie? It's called Blood and Honey.
I did not see Blood and Honey. I've been wanting to see Blood and Honey, though.
That's another good example of them just like pushing the fucking boundaries.
Yeah.
Just like because it's like you're kind of looking at it and you kind of know exactly what it's going to be, so you can go into it knowing what it's going to be. Like with Terrifier, like I'm not going to go see fucking award-winning movie. I'm going to go there and see like blood and guts.
You're going to go see a clown tear people to shreds.
Yeah. And that's basically what that's what the Winnie the Pooh movie is.
Yeah.
Which I just saw an article that just came out where apparently in Florida there was a 4th grade teacher that screamed. I think it was. He said it was an accident. I guess he meant to put in something else, but he screened the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie for his 4th grade students.
Holy shit, dude!
Which is like, he had them watch the whole thing.
The whole thing?
Yeah, and
he
they
had them watch the whole thing?
Yeah, and they were like begging him to turn it off, and he wouldn't do it. I don't know the situation there.
No, that guy's an asshole. Come
yeah,
on.
that guy's an asshole.
No.
If you accidentally put it in and then a little bit of it plays and you're like, oh shit, you take it out,
yeah,
switch it, whatever, that's fine. But nah, he made them watch it. Like
he was holding those kids hostage, dude. That's
sadistic fuck.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Yeah, man.
Dude, that is, you know what, man? That's all because of public domain, man. Because now Winnie the Pooh's public domain. So I don't know. You might have more incidents like that. Hopefully not as sadistic as this fucking guy, like trapping little kids in a room and making them watch this movie.
Yeah, I want to know what was like kind of going through this guy's head, because that's sick. That's some sick shit.
Yeah, dude. What are you doing?
I'm pretty sure there's like, oh man, there's all kind. That's like fucking screening Terrifier for like 10-year-olds. Basically, yeah. I mean, there's been instances where that's happened before, like when someone screened Sausage Party before Finding Dory. Like, that's hilarious. But
dude, speaking of which, real quick, I wanted to say when I went to go see Sausage Party, I remember it was during the very end, like the last 10 minutes of the movie, when all the food starts like fucking and they're getting in the orgy, and I remember. As I'm watching that, I'm looking down below at the row in front of me, and I'm seeing this woman with like these 2 little kids. They're walking out of the theater, and she has like a blanket and a fucking stroller and shit. I'm like, why the fuck did you even stay here this long?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Have you seen those videos of Martin Scorcese on TikTok?
I saw the one that Francesca posted recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Martin Scorsese's been in the news, in the headlines for a couple weeks now, because Killers of the Flower Moon comes out this Friday, which is October 18th.
Is it the 18th?
I don't even know what day it is, dude.
I thought it was the
today.
20...
I'm sorry, it's the 20th. It's
20th. Yeah.
Sorry, but he's also releasing a very anticipated like commercial with
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, it's Bleu de Chanel. It's like a Chanel commercial.
You know what? He has directed a couple of Scorsese. Like Scorsese's directed a couple of like de Chanel. Commercials.
And this one's with Timothy Chalamet.
Nice.
And I just feel, because I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio is kind of like our generation of like, where, like our generation's like De Niro, like, because like our parents had like De Niro and Scorsese, and then they made a bunch of movies together all the way leading up to like The Irishman, and then now Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, we kind of grew up with like Leo and Scorsese. Yeah, where they're making like The Departed, or it was Gangs in New York, and then you get The
The
Departed,
Departed.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing one.
Um.
I mean, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Well, Killers of the Flower. I mean, yeah. That's
But so, do you think that like Timothée Chalamet is Martin Scorsese's like new muse?
like his new muse. It would be tough to say, just because we've yet to see like an actual collaboration. I think, like with Timothée Chalamet in a feature length. With Martin Scorsese. Thing about it though is that I don't know. This could be also Martin Scorsese's last film too.
No. He's
So,
making another one called The Wager.
The Wager.
Yeah, he announced his next film is going to be called The Wager.
Nice.
It's based off of a book. I forget the name of the author, but it's going to be
Yeah.
starring Leonardo DiCaprio.
Nice.
But I mean, could we see Timothée Chalamet and also
That
in
I
that?
mean,
You know, like because Killers of the Flower Moon, the script has been worked on for 12 years.
yeah.
So yes, that could be his next movie, but Leonardo DiCaprio being the star doesn't necessarily like it's not set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a lot of of changes in regards to Killers of the Flower Moon that was, worked around.
Yeah.
Like, it was focused on him, on Leo's character, and kind of his relationship with like his dad, which is Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and then they switched it, so now the focus is on Lily Gladstone and kind of the loss of like the Native American people and stuff like that. So that they kind of like switched that. So like I mean,
because I've been reading a little bit more into the book, and it does kind of it is kind of like it does read a lot in a way of like a choose your own like adventure type perspective, in a way where it's like you can follow the story through the perspective of the Osage Indians who had who were enduring what was going on around that time, or you could have followed the perspective of Leonardo DiCaprio's character. I forgot the name of his Ernest something, but you could follow his perspective, and what's what he had conspired with his father to do, and that's a whole other thing as well. So I mean, yeah, man, that when you say it's a script that could have been worked on for like 12 years, I believe it, because I mean
they scrapped like a whole script.
Yeah.
And they just restarted everything.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. That's like, imagine doing like years of work and then just being like, nah, this ain't working, and then just scrapping it.
Interesting, man. Cause
I think the thing that, in regards to Timothée Chalamet, I think the thing that maybe is not like, maybe why it won't be his next muse is because, well, one, he's really old, but two, not only is Leonardo DiCaprio a great actor, he's a great producer.
Yeah.
And I don't think Timothée Chalamet produces.
I don't think so either.
But that's part of the reason why him and Scorsese have kept working together, because they're also producing like partners on some of their projects.
Yeah.
Like Killers of the Flower Moon.
I remember I think it was Marty, he was talking about De Niro, right? He was talking about even working with De Niro, and
Same
I think
thing.
that this is also like the same thing as like Leo and De Niro's relationship with Marty, where you have an actor and a director kind of duo, and they stick by each other. They stick by each other throughout their careers, and you always have like these studios who are trying to pull these people apart, making sure that like, oh well, you can't work with Scorsese, well, like, don't work with Scorsese because we also got this thing that we want you to do over here, and you kind of get jumbled up in the craziness of it all. But it's like Martin and Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio, I mean, the three of them, like this, they like to see them coming together like this again, like for this movie, it's fucking, I'm so excited, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
it is a 3-hour runtime.
Yeah.
Which doesn't bother me, but I feel like, I kind of feel like, well, because this movie was originally going to go to Apple TV.
Yeah.
Which I think it still is.
Well,
I'm very confused on like the distribution. I know it's going to theaters, but
yeah.
I think for a while it was just like it was only releasing on Apple TV.
Yeah.
And I feel like if he does want to make these like long epics, like maybe he should just make like a limited series.
A limited series?
Yeah, cuz like
I could see,
I don't know, like what like what Tarantino did with The Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
And I think they did it with The Irishman on Netflix, where they cut it.
Did they cut it? I thought they could just cut The Hateful Eight.
I don't know.
I think it might have just been The Hateful Eight.
But like, for me, because I have one toe, I have one foot in like the cinematic world, and I have one foot as like a general audience member.
Yeah.
And the general audience member side of me is like, damn, this fucking movie's gonna be long as shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I love long movies. Like fucking Endgame could have been like 5 hours, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm gonna love this movie. It's just that, like, to what extent does that hurt people's engagement? You know, like a general audience member, they're like, oh, let's go catch the next Leonardo DiCaprio movie. They don't know anything about the fucking movie at all.
Yeah.
To what extent does that hurt their like engagement? They're like, oh, that movie kind of sucked. Oh, it was fucking slow, you know?
Or they say it's too long.
Yeah.
I mean,
because diehard Scorsese fans are gonna like it no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, cause just no matter what.
I guess I do find myself in the camp of being the diehard Scorsese fan, where it's like, dude, I could watch like a 4-hour version of, you know, like I could watch like a 4-hour version of The Irishman. You know, I don't care. I could watch a 4-hour version of, you know, fucking Goodfellas. You know, I don't care. Like, anything that this guy puts out. But also, I think it's in a way. I think one of the reasons why he won't ever go to miniseries is because, I mean, you and I, we both know of Scorsese for like practically our whole fucking lives. We know that this guy is a cinema puritan. You know, he's all about the movie. He's all about, you know, he doesn't give a shit about the runtime. You know, it's like it's like, you know, you want, you know, you want something shorter, you know, go watch something else. Basically, that's Martin's attitude throughout most of his career. You know, is that anytime he's made a movie, he's always made it his way. He's always done it the way he's wanted to do it, you know. Even if it was a movie that he didn't want to make in the first place, it was always his own, you know. Like I feel like Cape Fear was like a one for me, one for you type movie. But even Cape then, Fear. Dude,
I've almost wanted more of those movies from him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, pump out your epics, but give us those little fucking
the little
easy reads, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking Bob De Niro just fucking ripped as shit, just like serial killer maniac. Oh, dude.
Man.
Oh, dude, you know, I'm going to say something and y'all might laugh at me or you might laugh at me.
Okay.
You know what I just watched?
What?
Like literally like 2 days ago?
What?
Raging Bull.
You just watched
I just watched Raging Bull. All right, guys, that's our episode. Thank you. Yeah, dude, I don't know if it was like the black and white that just kind of was like, I'll get to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nah, dude, I put it on and I was like, I'm gonna watch this shit. And oh my god.
Right?
It's very similar to this movie, where in the sense of like it's very similar but different because it's set in the 40s, but this is the movie of like excess and also masculinity and power and wealth. Yeah. And Raging Bull is just how masculinity can destroy you.
Yeah, dude.
And like Robert De Niro, I mean, he won one of his Oscars for that movie. But I mean, he's a real piece of shit. Like the whole movie, and you're like,
you know what it felt like to me, dude. Honestly,
what?
I remember. Okay, this is a funny parallel that I feel like I've made. It feels a lot like I saw a video right a couple years ago of Donald Trump at the Mar-a-Lago, right? And this is sometime after his presidency. You know, he's hanging out at the Mar-a-Lago. He's standing up on a podium. You know, and he's just talking to like I think like a wedding party, right? He's just talking. He just like crashed a wedding party, and he's on the podium. He's talking about the rigged election. He's talking about and so you know what that felt like to me? It literally felt like Jake LaMotta doing comedy like late in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I was like, I was just looking at him on stage in the video, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so fucking sad.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And so it dude. I think that it's really Raging Bull is one of those portraits of what happens when like ego and rage and jealousy just consume your entire legacy, your entire career, and it just when that rage is just an unstoppable force, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
But also, like, had I not, because I feel like we get caught up in the fact that it's Bob De Niro, Martin Scorsese,
Joe Pesci,
but we're watching a biopic of probably one of the greatest athletes to ever like live. He's one of the greatest boxers ever. I mean, Mike Tyson reveres him as like one of the best bully fighters, like that there was. And when I kind of like remembered that, had I not seen The Last Dance, I would have been like, I would have not really understood this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like part of having that id or whatever it's called, that thing inside your brain that makes you a great athlete, like one of the greatest of all time, is that craziness.
Yeah.
Like you kind of gotta be kind of crazy.
Delusion,
and had I not watched The Last Dance, I wouldn't have understood that. But like The Last Dance paints a portrait of one of the greatest athletes of all time, Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
And what we see in that is we see situations where Michael Jordan just straight up makes up stories of things.
For real?
Yeah, like during the playoffs, he made up a story about how one of the other players on like I forget what team, but he like didn't shake his hand afterwards, and something.
Yeah.
And you know he would tell the press, he would tell his teammates, "Yeah, you didn't shake my hand, whatever." And so the next game, he went at this one guy like hard as shit and ended up like having a dominating performance and making that guy look like shit.
So he would just stew
they
on something like a psycho, and then just
and they asked him like, did you ever say that? He's like, nah. It's like, nah, he never did that. I never even went up to him like.
Oh my god!
And like when Jake LaMotta was like, when I was watching Raging Bull, I was like, damn, that scene where Jake LaMotta is like, when she says that other boxer's like handsome, his wife Vicky, and the whole time for like literally for like 15 minutes of the whole movie, he's like, damn, he fucking said, he's like really dwelling on that chart, like he's like, damn, he's like, what do you mean by that? Like when you said he was handsome, and then when he fights this guy, he uses that to like beat the shit out of him, and he's like, well, now he's not handsome anymore because I just rearranged his face. So it's like, it's interesting that we take a look at it from like a very personal side and how that masculinity is damaging that. But if you look at it from an athletic side, that right there is what separates someone from being good to great.
I see what you're saying.
And ultimately in the ring, that's what he needed to beat the shit out of this guy. I mean, he's a fighter. And I just thought that was like really interesting that we were seeing it kind of from a different point of view. Because if it really was like a sports movie, which I don't think it is, but if it really truly was a sports movie, we would have seen that other side. But because we're looking at it through the lens of like his personal life as a man, not the athlete, you know, you see that. You know, how it's damaging his relationships by being that way.
And it's interesting that you say that, you know, it is more of a personal movie than it is a sports movie. And I think that it's definitely because it was directed by Martin Scorcese, you know, where it's like
he doesn't know how to make a sports movie.
But he knows
how to make a character fucking character study.
That's one of the coolest things about it is that like he'll go to any point in history at any time. Any type of people, gangs in New York, you know, gangs in Boston, religious figures. Jesus Christ himself, man. I mean, like, follow that perspective as well. And I mean, he'll just tell these deeply personal stories, bro. And I'm gonna be really sad when he goes, man. It's gonna be devastating. I'm not even kidding. Like,
there's really not. I mean, there's not anyone that makes movies like him.
No.
There just isn't. There's Christopher Nolan's one of the great directors, right? But he makes a different kind of movie.
Yeah.
You know, there's no one that makes movies the way that Martin Scorsese makes movies. And I think possibly that's because of the way that he views the world. There's no one else that really views the world quite like him.
Yeah.
And when you're watching these movies like Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street, Raging Bull, it's really almost like you're watching the movie through Martin Scorsese's eyes.
Yeah.
Like as if he's fucking sitting there.
How he sees them.
And it's like how he sees them. Like that scene with Joe Pesci and he's like, fucking hit me in the face.
Yeah.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can. Like it kind of looks like you're sitting at the other side of the table just kind of watching that happen, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know? So,
Yeah.
and a lot of the whole movie is just very much like you're just sitting there kind of watching,
Dude,
kind of judging.
It's even intense too, like in the scenes where Robert De Niro like isn't mad yet, but you're just seeing him slowly
but you're
wind
seeing him
up.
like,
That tension is like it sits uncomfortable
the camera,
when you're watching it, dude.
Because like the audio and everything captures what is happening, but
Yeah.
the camera is pointed at De Niro's reaction to everything.
Yeah.
And so like when you see that, you just watch him just boil up.
It's like a pissed off dad just kind of walking through the house. Like that's kind of what it
just like
it feels
looking
like.
around, just oof.
You hear the scuffle of the feet, the dishes clanking around in the sink, and you just see him, like his facial expression just changing, like every time he pops his head in the room and shit, every time he looks back at like his brother or his wife, and it's like, fuck, he's gonna get mad.
Yeah, and like he does the same thing in Goodfellas, where like he zooms in on like microisms, mannerisms, where like he'll zoom in on someone's mouth as they're wording something, or he'll zoom in on like a hand touching.
Yeah.
And it's like these are things that someone would be looking at if they were, really observant like that and using that to like fuel their rage. So but man, that is
dude. I'm so glad you finally fucking saw it.
Yeah,
that's crazy that you that you took that long to see it, but yeah.
I think it was the black and white that got me, but I just I'm finally at an age where like that I can just that's fine.
Recently, I've been wanting to do a thing where it's like I want to binge like all of De Niro and Pesci's movies together when they were working with Scorsese. So you got like Raging Bull, Goodfellas, Casino, and then The Irishman, and just do like a 4-movie like binge. Man, dude,
that'd be fun. Dude.
That would be sick.
Yeah, count me in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'm planning on getting a new TV, a fucking 80-inch.
Nice.
With a 4K.
Nice.
We'll fucking just set up there and just watch that shit and like, man, there's no better feeling. But
no. What? Okay. So what else? What else do we have?
I really think that's it.
Let me see.
We had like some notes.
Well, hold on. What about that? Daredevil.
Yeah, dude.
Let's talk about Daredevil real quick.
So apparently Marvel just decided to scrap everything they had filmed.
Yeah.
And scrap their team, their whole team that was working. So this is coming off of the writer's strike ending. So this might have been a reason to be like, okay, let's now go in this new direction.
Yeah.
Man, I don't. Had the writer's strike not ended when it did, I feel like the release date would have been pushed back, or we might have just seen what they had, and that would have sucked.
Yeah. So what was the original script looking like before they scrapped it? Allegedly,
we obviously don't know, but from some of my sources that I follow on social media, episode 1 was going to kick off with I don't know how, but Foggy and Karen from the original Netflix series getting killed off. Yeah. And I guess Matt Murdock / Daredevil couldn't save them, so he just hangs up the cowl, puts away the suit, and just.
So he does like the Spider-Man 2 sad boy shit. Yeah. Like basically.
Yeah, and apparently we weren't gonna see Daredevil till the 5th episode. Yeah. And there was gonna be 9. There's gonna be 9 episodes. Yeah. So to not see him till the 5th is like, and it's gonna be releasing weekly. I just that would have that would have not been. No. That would have not been good. So apparently Marvel was just like, you know what, we're just gonna scrap this whole thing. Yeah. Rewire everything, rewrite, refilm, and put out the best show that we can possibly put out that's more akin. And that's the key, is that they want to put something out that's more akin to what the Netflix series was. Yes. And that's the key right there, because some of the Disney shows have been really fucking stupid, like She-Hulk, which is where we last saw Daredevil. And if we were to get some more of that, that would have been really tough. So the fact that they're actually just referencing, the Daredevil Netflix show and just being like, yo, let's just go start from here and just start moving forward is really, really refreshing to hear, because I can't. I would be so upset, because we have Vincent D'Onofrio returning as Kingpin. We have John Bernthal returning as Punisher. We have Charlie Cox back as Daredevil.
Yeah.
So if they were to basically, so coming off of that, I mean, the last time we saw all of them was in the Netflix shows, which were fucking bangers.
Yeah.
And if they just decided to be like, nah, we're basically going to take it a different direction. Everything's going to be funny and light and everything. And like, I would have been like, nah, dude, this is fucking whack.
Netflix was where the gritty like Marvel was, like the gritty like street side type of like Marvel was sitting. You know, you had Jessica Jones, Punisher,
Luke
Iron
Cage.
Fist. Even though Iron Fist was a crock of shit.
Yeah,
You-
Luke
you still-
Cage was
Luke
one of my
Cage.
favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, Daredevil, and you know that's one of the things that I actually don't understand either is this whole arc of Matt Murdock going through pain and enduring pain once again in this season of Daredevil Born Again, where it's like, I don't know, because this character
already
has
saw that.
existed. This character has existed since like 2016, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's like we've already seen the painful story arc. We've already seen the interpersonal type of like.
We've
arc.
seen him not wear a suit for multiple episodes.
Yeah.
I think it was season
Even
3.
a majority of a season, like
Yeah.
wasn't most of season 2 like him in court, you know, defending the Punisher?
Yeah, but
Like,
also in season 3 when he like is recovering from what happened in the Defender show.
yeah,
Like he's just recovering, and you don't see him in the suit. You see him in the original black suit, but you don't see him in like his Daredevil suit until like towards the. Or I don't think you ever see him.
he's very seldom in the suit, even in the Netflix
No,
series.
because Bullseye takes his suit.
that's right.
Bullseye
That's,
takes his suit, so he's going back to the black suit. Oh man, that was a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
season.
that
Was a
man,
really
that
good
was-
season.
I wish they would expand on that
Yeah.
actually a little bit. Hopefully that's maybe what the show can go into. I don't know, this coming season. That
wish-
being said, though, they do have a new format, right, for how they're going about shows.
Yeah. So they're gonna focus more on something like Loki, where it's basically a multiple season type deal. Because they were really just making so when they first announced that they were gonna be making TV shows, it was announced that they were basically just gonna be making like limited series, so basically long movies.
Yeah.
And when it was announced, you know, we had Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and when that first came out, it was like, hey, this is pretty good. It's like
Yeah.
one long movie, whatever.
Yeah.
But then we started getting like She-Hulk, and Moon Knight was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good. So it was like kind of hit or miss, but
Yeah.
they should have this whole time just really been focusing on like a season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, you know, like a regular show.
Well, I feel like now that because Disney Plus was like such a new platform and they're throwing out all these kinds of shows, they had to choose like basically they had to throw out like kind of like a flurry of different kinds of shows where like
Yeah.
She-Hulk, you know, you got the sitcom format. Like
WandaVision was
WandaVision
very
is also WandaVision was like the one-off series, and then I feel like with shows that could have longevity like Loki and Winter Soldier, it's like they were like, okay, well, we'll expand on these. We don't need to expand on WandaVision. You know, maybe She-Hulk can be like the little short 30-minute episodes of like just
Yeah.
She-Hulk being a lawyer, you know, or
yeah.
and so
I really saw it as like a way to as a path to get to a movie.
in a way,
And they kind of strayed away from that with She-Hulk, but now they're back with Loki.
yeah.
Because Loki's fucking always been fire, and season 2 so far is really, really good.
Yeah, I like
And,
what season 2 is doing with Kang so far. Just making
Yeah.
him this
Ant-Man basically shit on Kang, because it's like,
Yeah.
if you want to have this multiversal like villain who's a Thanos level, maybe even more threatening villain,
yeah,
and then you're gonna have Ant-Man beat him. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
like
They perfectly sum up the threat of Kang within the first like few minutes of episode 1, season 2 of Loki.
yeah,
Like, you really fear him,
yeah.
and in the entirety of the Ant-Man movie, you don't really think anything of him. So
Truly, like you could have had Kang. I don't know, fighting anybody else in
Well,
any
Kang shoulda
other
killed Ant-Man.
movie. Kang should have.
at the end of Ant-Man Quantumania, if
Yeah.
Kang would have killed Ant-Man, that would have, dude.
I would have liked
would've
that
set-
very much.
That would have set up like, oh shit,
yeah,
this is like, and then like it just shows him killing Ant-Man, him killing Janet Van Dyne, him killing everybody,
yeah,
and then him kind of like some Infinity War shit.
yeah,
It's like, oh, he won,
yeah.
and then it's like, the next movie you're like, oh fuck, like I'm Kang, bro. He would have been
That
like,
actually would have been a great way to, because honestly, I don't see anything else I don't see anything else coming out of Paul Rudd with Ant-Man. I'm just like,
he's never
This-
he's great. I love Paul Rudd, but he's never needed his own. Like, he never needed the third movie.
You know what Ant-Man never needed? Peyton Reed. They
Yeah.
never needed Peyton
Yeah.
Reed. They should have stuck with Edgar Wright
Oh, that would've been-
from the. Oh,
Dude,
it would
that
have been
would've
my
been-
fucking favorite, dude. It would have been my favorite.
He didn't need because I feel like Quantumania was like they try to make it this big like Avengers type movie, and like he didn't need that. He's just just give him a small movie. He doesn't need to be like treated like a Guardian of the Galaxy or anything like that. Like, what a waste. You know,
Yeah.
they should have had that movie be what it was, but they should have killed Ant-Man, and
They
that would have set up Kang to be like this really ominous figure that we as Marvel fans are just kind of like really concerned about. Like low key, like we'll be going day to day, just be like, fuck Kang,
Yeah.
like damn, because that's how it was after I saw Infinity War, waiting for Endgame. I was like I'd be living my life, and then like once in a while I'd be like, damn, Thanos really got away with it. Like I'd be sitting there like fucking.
You would have to wait a year for
Yeah,
that, dude.
and then
Like,
finally we saw Endgame and everything was cool. But for that period of time, I was like, fuck, man.
damn, dude. Yeah.
I was sad.
It was a good first part, man. It was
Yeah,
a good
dude.
great cliffhanger. But
Absolutely.
dude, if I could have just made a suggestion for Ant-Man, I don't know, maybe have Ant-Man actually fight like an Ant-Man villain
Yeah.
for once.
Yeah.
Maybe, could have just kept the whole Ant-Man fighting his own villains thing going instead of.
That's
having
why number one, Ant-Man 1 was successful because
Yeah.
it's just him versus the Yellow Jacket, and it's
Yeah.
it's what it is.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, fuck you, Peyton Reed.
yeah, man, Fucking Jesus. But I think that's it. Something really cool that I just kind of want to just throw out there. We don't need to talk about it too much because there's really nothing to talk about. But something that I'm really excited for is Netflix is announcing a new JFK limited series.
Yes.
I actually, I think it's a limited series. It's said to be in the vein of something like The Crown, which Netflix has done a really great job on. That covers, the what is it? The English royalty,
Yeah. Like the Parliament,
dynasty, yeah.
the aristocracy.
All the way
I
up
don't give a shit.
to all the way up to the events of like Princess Diana and like her death and everything. So apparently they're gonna do something like that with JFK. That's gonna chronicle his life. And I will say that they are announcing this, but it's already been done before. There's a really solid limited series called The Kennedys. I'm sure you can find it on a streaming service. Greg Kinnear plays John F. Kennedy, and Barry Pepper plays Robert F. Kennedy. And Barry Pepper puts on a fucking show. And so does Greg Kinnear. Greg Kinnear is a great JFK.
Yeah.
And you got Katie Holmes as Jackie Kennedy.
Nice.
And I think Tom Wilkinson is I forget the dad's name. Joe Kennedy.
Yeah.
Man, that's a great show. One of my favorite limited series of all time. So if they get even close to that and maybe even really dive into like the conspiracy aspect of the whole JFK thing,
Yeah.
and the JFK family, because it just didn't end with JFK. You got RFK got shot.
Yeah.
It's a whole
You got
kind of thing.
The whole Chappaquiddick saga thing with Ted Kennedy.
Yeah.
So, you got the Kennedys are a very incredibly interesting family, honestly. Like one of the most interesting political families, I think, in America.
Absolutely. So, if we get, some of that, and if they go in depth and maybe they make it like a multi-season thing, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Also, John F. Kennedy's like one of my favorite presidents, and very iconic figure. So I'm excited to see who they're going to cast as JFK.
Yeah.
Because that's always fun.
If you could theorize right now, who do you think would be cast as JFK?
Man, they could get someone that's already done it.
Yeah.
Greg Kinnear was a great JFK.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I don't know if you've ever seen that show, but great JFK. I mean, he had everything down, bro. Everything. The charisma, the voice. The voice was important.
Yeah, the voice is important.
Another person I would say is like James Marsden could maybe do it.
Yeah. James Marsden could do that.
And he did it in Lee Daniels' The Butler.
Yeah.
But, let's give him a better script and let's give him some time to work on it, and I think it'll be even better.
You know who I would think just in appearance, who just looks like JFK. It's the guy that played Abraham from The Walking Dead. Remember the ginger, the red-haired dude? I forgot his name. But Oh man, he has like that JFK like face. I'm trying to remember what his name was.
You said he played Abraham?
He played Abraham. But I always thought he would make like a good JFK. That guy
this guy?
Yeah. Well, he's a little old now, but like back when I had seen him, yeah. Like he looked real JFK in the face, you know. But anyway, that being said, so when's that series supposed to be coming out?
Maybe. No idea. They just announced that they're working on it.
Okay.
But
cool.
again, like the writer's strike just ended, and hopefully the actor strike will end soon. So
yeah,
with the writer's strike ending, we kind of got announcements of all these new projects that are coming out, all these reboots and stuff. So
yeah,
that was one of them that came out, and that was one of the ones that I'm like, damn, I'm excited.
Yeah,
you
dude.
know? But anyways,
I did have one more thing. Just want to tell you guys. Well, this originally was going to be a Exorcist, like Saw X type like episode. We heard so many negative reviews about The Exorcist. I didn't end up going to see it.
I didn't give a shit about The Exorcist.
Yeah, so I mean, it's
William Friedkin like absolutely hated the fact that was even being made. So
that's what I wanted to bring up.
I don't even really give a shit.
So I wanted to end on this. Okay, so I want to end on this. First off, if you guys want to see a good paranormal film, go watch Incantation. It's on Netflix right now. It's a Taiwanese found footage horror film about this woman.
That already sounds scary.
Yeah, her daughter gets possessed by this entity, and some wild, crazy, uncomfortable, freaky shit happens. That being said, William Friedkin, go check it out. It's very good. This is allegedly this was supposed to be the thoughts on Exorcist Believer by William Friedkin before his alleged passing. This is from Culture Crave, I remember.
Yeah.
Okay. So he said, my signature film is about to be extended by the man who made Pineapple Express. I don't want to be around when that happens. If there's a spirit world and I can come back, I plan to possess David Gordon Green and make his life a living hell.
Who asked him this? Like, when did they ask this guy?
I don't know. I don't know when anybody put a microphone up to William Friedkin's mouth, but
was this like on his deathbed? Because damn.
If that was on his dude, if I was David Gordon Green and that information had been relayed over to me, I would not have fucked. They were summoning the devil on the set of The Exorcist, man. I don't want to fuck with that movie at all. I wouldn't want to be the guy.
No,
I'm not that guy.
No.
I'm not that guy.
Yeah, I know. Didn't like a bunch of people die from the original Exorcist?
I want to say,
like, did the little girl get murdered? A bunch of the people on the crew like died and shit.
I want to say yes, but at the same time, I also think I know the girl who played Reagan. I know she died.
She was murdered. Yeah,
she was
by
murdered.
Her dad.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then Poltergeist, similar thing.
Poltergeist.
Too.
Poltergeist was the one.
Okay.
My bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
Or was it both of them? Fuck,
it might have been. I know. Both of them. I don't know.
Google it.
Google it.
But anyway, that is episode.
I don't even know.
11.
We're just coasting.
Who cares?
Could be.
It's October. Go see a horror movie. Go see Saw X.
Movie, yeah. I will tell you guys our next episode will be dedicated to divulging into Martin Scorcese's Killer of the Flower Moon, which releases this Friday, October 20th. Please make sure you go see it. I don't think it's an IMAX movie, but if you can go see it in IMAX, go watch it in IMAX.
I'm going to try and finish the book as well. That way we have some more shit to talk about.
I don't read, so
I'll do it for you.
You'll do it for me. So, but guys, that was pretty much it. We will see y'all on the next episode. Thank you.